First of all, I would like to thank you all for taking the time to be here. As Bill mentioned, I will be sharing with you my story of how education saved me and how I got it. Before getting into that, I would like to share some facts about my home country, Pakistan. According to the 2015 Oslo Summit on Education for Development, 32% of primary, 59% of elementary, and 87% of high school girls dropped out of school in Pakistan. In one of Pakistan's provinces named Balochistan, about 81% of women have not completed primary school, and about 75% of women have never even attended a school at all. Because of this, out of the 10 worst countries in the world for gender equality, Pakistan ranks second according to the World Economic Forum. Now, let me tell you all a story of a woman named Suraya, who was born and raised in Pakistan. Her parents were poor and had 5 daughters and a son. Suraya was their eldest daughter, and because of that, she was responsible for cooking, cleaning, and taking care of her siblings. Because of this, Suraya's education ended when she was in grade 4. She was not allowed to have friends or to go out because of her responsibilities at home. At 16, Suraya was forced into an arranged marriage. When her husband changed jobs, Suraya and her family had to move to Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to leave their house without a legal male guardian. Therefore, they must ask permission from the male guardian to travel, work, study, marry, and even to have access to health care. Women are obligated to live in the borders drawn for them by their fathers and partners. Before going out with family, women are required to cover up from head to toe. Because of these restrictions, men are responsible for doing outside jobs such as bringing kids to and from school and doing household errands. In Saudi Arabia, men and women are not allowed to freely interact with each other, which is why schools and public spaces are restricted and divided. Because of this, Suraya was mostly at home, and when she did go out, she was not able to communicate in Arabic and was not allowed to learn the language. Why do I tell you this story? Because Suraya is my mother, and her story is not uncommon for the women in the Middle East. Women are kept down, oppressed, and uneducated, which makes it impossible for them to find their voice and be heard. What I have learned and what I know is that if we don't allow women to be educated, they will not stand a chance at ever finding their voice. Our story does take a turn for the better, and I'm here to tell you that story and how we have broken the pattern in my family. Typically, being born and raised in a Pakistani family means that men are the breadwinners and women are the housemakers. Education in Pakistan is treated like a privilege, which only the rich or powerful have access to. There is one exception, and that is being a man. If you are a man, no matter how poor your family is, they will find a way for you to get an education. This is because men are considered a guaranteed investment, as they will stay in the family, whereas women are always married off. If you do try and fight the system, you are often punished. For example, I'm sure that many of you must have heard of Malala Yousafzai. She's the youngest person to win a Nobel Peace Prize, and she advocates for women around the world, as well as supports them through her foundation. But the road to get there was anything but easy. Her family believed in education for both women and men, and found ways to keep Malala in school in Pakistan. At what cost? Malala was shot and almost killed by terrorists. Her family's belief in education was so great that instead of giving up, they left the country so Malala and her siblings could finish their education. Similarly, Marina Nemeth, who is the first recipient of the Human Dignity Prize, also speaks for women's rights around the world, writes books about her experiences, and teaches creative writing right here at the University of Toronto. Marina's journey was not easy as well. Marina was imprisoned and almost killed in Iran. While in prison, Marina was forced to marry her interrogator, but she did not give up and flew to Canada as a refugee to finish her education and to live a better life. Now, let me tell you all about myself, as I do come from a similar background as these two women. I too had to fight for my education. When visiting Canada about 10 years ago, my father suffered a heart attack. We were forced to stay in the country while he recovered. My mother seized the opportunity to put me into school, even though it was against our family traditions. Because we didn't know how long it would take for my father to recover, I tried to finish my education as quickly as possible. I graduated from high school at 15 and completed my university at 19 and was the youngest person in my class in that year to graduate. While I was finishing school and finding a job, I noticed that my mom was learning English. Not only that, she was helping my brother with his business, and because of this, she gained her respect and confidence back. How do we break the pattern? Well, just like Malala and Marina, my mom and I were able to get an education. Canada literally saved my life. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. If it weren't for this country and my education, I would have been forced into an arranged marriage at 16, just like my mom. Instead of a bachelor's degree, I would have 3 kids and be serving my husband. We have so far to go in the Middle East to close the gender gap. Clearly, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are the 2 worst culprits. But I was surprised to see that Canada is not even in the top 10 countries for gender equality. For those of you that are wondering, we rank 16th. Even this great country has some work to do. Did you know that in Canada, boys are twice as likely as girls to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math subjects? And women are 60% less likely than men to move from middle management to executive ranks. Because we welcome so many immigrants, we sometimes welcome their mindset from their home country. And this contradicts our value system here in Canada and what we believe in as Canadians. We believe in education. We believe in equal rights. We believe in freedom of expression. And many women are not being exposed to any of that, even though they live here. It's not easy to change people's mindset from their home country, but we need to try. The organization Womankind Worldwide transforms lives of women around the world by educating, preparing, and guiding women on how to find their voice at home and society. It is an incredible organization that is changing lives of women around the world. Here in Canada, some of these women are getting an education, but they need that little push. Companies like Accenture have done an incredible job at adapting to this new reality. They are proactively helping women to enter workplace by leading with diversity and by emphasizing on true human experiences. They also establish a presence where they see the potential to help women, and they do this by seeking partnerships with great organizations like the Anita Borg Institute and Girls Who Code. Not only that, Accenture is leading the way by offering competitive benefits. For example, they recently doubled their maternity leave, improved their paternity leave, doubled the hours of backup childcare support, and doubled their elder care benefits as well. They're not just doing it blindly. Company leaders are listening to their employees' wants and needs and are adapting to them in response. How is this relevant to everyone here at OMERS? When hiring, it's important for us to recognize the different backgrounds and living situations of women sitting across the table during the interview process. This may be their first job. This may be their second or third language. and this may be their first time building the courage to go out and work. We need to support and sponsor more women by following in the footsteps of organizations like Accenture. Just like people that get caught in the mindsets of their old country, we too can get caught in the old mindsets of outdated hiring practices. Therefore, we need to seriously recognize the fact that gender inequality can do more harm to our economy than good. Girls around the world, ones like Malala and Marina, have gone through life and death situations to bring awareness to this problem. For gender discrimination to change, we need to see this matter as urgent and critical. Women are being mocked, put down, and oppressed, and even killed because of their gender. Together, we all have the power to change this. My story and my mom's story are examples of how it is possible to change and how education is the solution. We often talk about diversity in the workplace. I believe it's so much more important than just filling a quota to meet your mandate. By hiring a woman, you could be saving an entire generation of girls that come after her. Girls that still today are not allowed to step out of their homes, let alone get an education. Thank you.